Welcome to the dojo, the Temple Day Games. Today, I'm going to be running you guys through a full Mayhem Hunt workout. Start to finish, this thing takes about an hour. So I'm just going to show you kind of how these things are structured and break down how I'm training going into hunting season 2025. Where finally, after so many times of failing, it will be my year. Which is the same thing that the Dallas Cowboys say every year, which I'm a fan of. So, yeah, should probably pick a different team and a different hobby. This part of my garage back this way is an absolute mess because our house is still under construction from our fire. And I wasn't going to show it, but here we are. Let's break down what is Mayhem Hunt. So Mayhem Hunt, programming specifically for hunters by the Mayhem team, Rich Froning, maybe you heard of him. Not a big deal, just fittest guy that the world has ever known. So he's got that on his resume, that's more than I can say. And essentially, this is like watered down CrossFit. So what I mean by that is that there's not going to be some of the more technical movements like in CrossFit. You're not going to see muscle ups or snatches or stuff like that where it's like hard to learn. Like this is all stuff you could do on your own, but it's still applying the basic principles of CrossFit where it's constantly varied functional movement performed intensity. So you're doing a CrossFit-y piece every day that's going to be that like intense, like kind of HIIT style, but it's going to be like different every day. So you're working different muscle groups. There's also a strength piece, which I know is not technically true CrossFit, but that is pretty much what CrossFit has become, is that you do a strength piece and then a conditioning piece. Why am I putting on these shoes? Because to stay true to Daddy Rich Froning, you have to do these workouts in Vivo barefoots because that's all that Rich wears. And so if Rich wears them, I'm going to wear them too, even though I'm pretty sure these shoes have given me Achilles tendonitis and they can go absolutely F themselves. But staying true to Team Rich. First thing we got is the warm-up for your shoulders. I do the same warm-up every day, and it is with these crossover symmetry. So I'll show you kind of what my little flow is here. Let me get this close up. Check this out. Bam. So first thing is you grab these, they cross, hence crossover symmetry, and then I do 8 of these, where I just pull straight back. After 8 of these, we go into 8 of these lat push downs. After 8 of these, I don't know what I'm actually at, let's call that 5. Then you switch out these heavier bands for these light purple ones, and then 8 of these. These crossover symmetry have been a huge tool for me. I used to have a lot of shoulder pain, and you know what's good for shoulder pain?
Hey Derek, you know what's always good for shoulder pain?
What?
If you lick my butthole. Snap!
Yeah, so anyway, I used to have a lot of shoulder pain. These, I still have a lot of shoulder pain. I'm not going to tell you that these are some miracle, but I dislocate my shoulder less, which I used to dislocate all the time. And these have been really instrumental at giving me more stability in the shoulder. And then start off with the light purple ones. I like to do these. We do 8 of these. Check out. Call me, what's her name? Janet Jackson or whatever. Got a little nip slip going on. So 8 of these. Then we're going to do 8 of these. Just straight up. So we flip around, we got 8 of these. Then we're going to grab this little guy right here. I think it's called a hip halo. So where this goes is you'll take this, step into it, and then it essentially goes around your hips like this. And then we're going to start off, I like to go 5, 5, 5, 5. So you start off right here, side steps. So 5 one way, 5 the other way, and then do that again so that you have 10. After the side steps, we'll go monster walk. So bam, 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 and then same thing backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again. I'm not gonna go through this whole thing. I'm just gonna show you. Then we're gonna go fire hydrants. So you're standing here, this one comes up, and then you're like this, opening like a clamshell, opening like your sister on prom night, okay? Open those up, get those hips all open. Then we're going squats. So don't make fun of me, my squat form is not good. So I like to do 10 of these, just get loosened up, make sure my hips, I'm focusing on driving my knees out. I have a pretty wide stance to my squat. Find what works for you. It's dependent on the length of your femur, but just do a bunch of those and then hit the floor, okay? So we're gonna come down here, we're gonna do hip thrusts. If you're working out with a partner, best thing you could do is a weighted hip thrust. Have him sit right here and then just go into these bad boys. So you do 10 of those, then kick one leg up, 5. Switch leg, 5. And then you should be warm. All right, let's get into the app right now. So when you download Mayhem Hunt, this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see right here a YouTube video of Angelo. Shout out Angelo, probably Italian, never met him. But you're gonna go through and it's gonna show you the warm up. So we pretty much just did that. There's always a part 2 warm up. If you wanna do that, I don't own a PVC pipe, so that would be a good thing to do. And then you can look at the first set. So the first piece right here today is going to be these push press cluster sets. So these cluster sets are essentially you do 2 reps, rest, 2 reps, rest, 2 reps, rest, 2 reps, rest. Then you rest a minute. And you got 4 sets of that. So you're doing essentially 8 reps resting, but you go pretty heavy on them. So for these, I'll probably go like 135. And then we've got some shoulder health accessory. Especially if you're shooting a bow a lot, you gotta bulletproof your shoulders. That way you can be doing it long term. Or don't get a shoulder injury and then bam, you're a crossbow guy. Which, gay, unless you have a shoulder injury. Then, not gay. Then we got a little Metcon piece, which we're gonna have to sub a bunch of stuff out because I don't own a sled. So we'll figure that out. But let's go ahead and warm up the shoulders and get going. All right, so we're gonna get into it. This is my first working set. We're gonna do, it's 2 reps, rest 20 seconds, 2 reps, rest 20 seconds, 2 reps, rest 20 seconds, 2 reps, rest a minute. I'm gonna start off at 115 and then go up probably to 135 unless this is harder than I think it's going to be. All right, that's it for the strength piece. Done with the barbell, so I'm gonna throw these weights back on the rack. So my shoulders are horrible, dude. Like, they're just not strong. I basically have 0 strength overhead. Should probably fix that, but instead, just keep lifting lightweight and feel like my legs get stronger, my chest gets stronger, my back gets stronger, shoulders, same. Freaking sucks. Okay, we got this shoulder health accessory piece. So it's essentially 3 movements. The first one is called a Powell raise. So the way I like to do it is put your bench on an incline, grab a super light dumbbell. This is a 10, which typically I use like an 8 for this. So 10 is gonna be kind of hard, but it's only 8 reps. So you start basically all kind of like lay down so I'm flat. You grab your dumbbell down in front of you, and then it's up, hold. Okay, so you pretty much here, you're gonna feel this kind of in the back. Maybe it's like your freaking rotator cuff or something, I don't know. And then flip around, and then you got the same thing on the other side. Oh, this side's like way better. It makes sense that it'd be easier with my left shoulder, because my right shoulder, back in 2016, when I was on my Mormon mission, I was in Richmond, Kentucky, and I'd never done like working out that much, and so I was thinking, some guys were like, hey dude, let's do CrossFit, and I was like, huh, okay, so I jump in this tire, dislocate my shoulder, and ever since then have had shoulder problems. Okay, second piece, still with the bench at an incline. You're gonna lay down on the bench. I'm gonna still use these 5s, and then we're gonna do these Y raises. So from here, I've got 2 plates, 2 5-pound plates. From the ground, you go up, Y, hold, down. I didn't hold it, but right here. That like half-second pause at the top makes all the difference. Like you just go like this, you could do these freaking until the cows come home. But if you add this little pause, makes you question why you're doing this and hope that it actually helps something, because if it doesn't, this is a total waste of time. All right, we're gonna go into a conditioning piece. I'm gonna make a couple subs on this for a couple different reasons. I'll explain as I go. So this is the workout as it's written. 100-foot sled push, 20-meter run, 100-foot farmer's carry. What I'm gonna do that's gonna be a little bit different is I'm gonna go bike erg damper 10 for 20 cals. Because I don't have a sled to push. Actually, I'm gonna do 15 cals. So it's gonna be damper 10, 15 cals. Then, instead of running, I'm gonna do 250 meters on the rower. Reason why is because I can run slow right now, but I can't run fast or it just blows up my freaking Achilles. Then, it's gonna be the kettlebells. I'm gonna carry these to, I don't know what actually 100 feet is, but it's probably gonna be closer to like, let's see, it's 50 to there. It's probably gonna be a little bit farther than 100. So basically that's gonna be it. And then it's like that, rest. So 4 rounds of that, which sucks because I already went to CrossFit this morning and my body's absolutely cooked and I've eaten no food. Oh, I don't want to do this workout, but these are the ones you have to do. That's round 1, and I'm resting 2 minutes, straight into round 2. I'll come back on round 4. Here's a little life, or here's like a little new thing I'm doing. After Metcons, like my heart rate right now is still 162. What I'm doing, because I was listening to, what's that guy? Chris Henshaw. We're hopping on the bike erg, and then I'm trying to hold 70 RPMs for 3 minutes. And that's my new recovery protocol. To basically flush the lactate or whatever. I don't know how it freaking works, dude. I just heard him on a podcast and he said you should do that. And so as soon as I'm done with any Metcon now, it's find a bike erg, 3 minutes, hold over 70 RPMs Damper setting 1. I don't know if it does anything, but he said to do it, so I'm doing it. So the hard part of the workout is now complete. Now we got the easy part. So it's 20 minutes of just like a zone 2 run. Let me give you a pro tip. Whenever you see 20 minutes of running, just do 2 miles. That's the easiest thing. Right now, typically I would run a lot more than 2 miles, but I'm trying to ease back into it because I've got this freaking Achilles thing. Now, earlier I said I was going to sub out running, but now I'm going to go on a run, so that probably doesn't make much sense. So let me explain. On a fast run, I'm overstriding and hitting my freaking heel on the ground. That is like my running mechanics, and it sucks. These Vivos are actually not bad. I love working out in these. I like the idea of Vivos. I just have this freaking injury. So I'm running shoes right now. I'm doing these Brooks. These are the Glycerin. Glycerin, is that how that is? I don't know, but the reason I'm running these is because they have a way higher heel toe drop. So it takes a lot of pressure off my Achilles. But anyway, I can run in these Brooks slower. Like I can do a zone 2 run just fine because my ankle is landing behind my knee. I'm really focusing on that. And so I'm landing on the ball of my foot, and that's taking a lot of the pressure off my Achilles. And so I'm basically staying away from anything that causes pain right now, and running fast or like doing quick intervals, that gives me a lot of pain. But going slower, I don't feel anything. So we got 2 miles. All right, so let's talk about zone 2, the importance of these slower miles. First off, definitely you're gonna wanna invest in one of these. It's a heart rate monitor, but it goes on your chest. It's because the watch is not accurate by itself. You're gonna have huge fluctuations. Sometimes I'll have my watch on in a workout and I can't breathe, and my freaking heart rate says it's at like 120, which not true. To tell if you're in zone 2 though, if you don't have a heart rate monitor, you should be able to do this. You should be able to run, and at the end of your sentence, you gotta take some breaths, but you can still talk. You can get everything out. Why is this important? Because, and then if you're going off of your heart rate, the easiest way to do it is 180 minus your age. It's called the MAF 180 method, MAF tone method. That's the easiest way to find your heart rate zones. Why are these low, slow miles important? Because this is how you're gonna be able to put volume on your body. You're not gonna be able to do a ton of volume running at your max heart rate because you're just gonna tear your body down. But doing these longer, slow runs, this is what's gonna allow you to stack up the miles and build a bigger aerobic base so that you can go farther longer. When you do metcons like that in there, and you're doing like a 200-meter row, that is where you can increase your VO2 max, and you can push faster during those. But on these longer, slow runs, the whole point is just throwing on more miles and getting more volume. And then the question is, why is that important for hunters? Dude, I've had days where I'm hiking freaking, wow, look at this. A bunch of little flags, huh? It's interesting. I've had days out in the woods where I've hiked 20 miles. And to be able to do that, you gotta have the aerobic fitness, because then you wanna be able to wake up the next day and do that again. So you need to be able to stack on the miles. Endurance, hunting is more of an endurance game than anything. Obviously, we all like the strength stuff, and that's fun, but hunting really comes down to endurance and being able to do it again and again and again and again. Okay, here's a little piece of extra credit to end off the video. I do this every day, no matter what is on the workout. I grab my ruck, I've got 50 pounds in it, and then I will put on Vivos, which I wear Vivos around as much as I can, but I'll put on these Vivos and go walk a mile with my dogs. And the reason I do this is because it conditions your shoulders, neck, and traps to be able to carry a pack while you're hunting. And then it also builds your feet and ankles and calves to be able to walk more. I think it's just a really, really easy thing you can do. It's not necessarily cardio because your heart rate's pretty low, but it works really good. And I'm about to go to work, so I got this polo on, not workout clothes, but it's just a super easy thing you can throw on the top. If you made it this far, thank you for watching the video. If you got anything out of it, You're welcome. I know that you probably watch stuff like this, and it's hard when you compare yourself to an elite athlete, but you guys keep coming back, and I appreciate you. Much love. See you in the next one.